R2 Cents.
With Oscar.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Once again, welcome to R2 Cents. It is I, your host, Oscar. I don't know why I always want to stop right there. I think I want to make it sound better, but we haven't figured it out yet. Anyways, I'd like to welcome you guys to the 192 episode of R2 Cents. We've had many conversations, different walks of life, people that are doing different things, and content creators who just focus on content creating, and other people, the many people we've had. And today I will be having a conversation with a new friend that I've gotten to know but a content creator, more or less, that is in the path of searching. I see, Jesus Christ, I feel unprepared again. I thought I was ready, but I guess I'm not. My deepest apologies. I already messed it up once. I was trying to get this figure out first to see. There we go. That's how I want it. That's good. Good right there. I was trying to figure out first, and then I realized that I was not doing the right things. And I always make the same mistakes. I keep one camera on, and then the other one you can't even see when it's on. Anyways, that's not what we're here for, to talk about my mistakes. We're just here to learn from my mistakes. How about you? Well, I mean, like I said, it is. I know I've been lagging it a lot lately, but it's just like I explained in the past. I've had success in becoming a homeowner, and you get busy when you become a homeowner. I didn't realize how busy I was gonna get from trying to furnish the house to trying to clean up after the people that were here prior to you. All that takes into play that I didn't think I was going to be able to send, but we're having a technical difficulty over here. Let me see. And it seems like we fixed our technical difficulties. Like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, today I will be having a conversation with my friend Erick G, a content creator from Houston, Texas. Anyways, let's allow the gentleman into our room to have our conversation. And here we go. There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. I can hear you. Finally figured it out, right?
Yeah.
Took a minute, but we got it.
My email was lagging.
I don't know. I had to send it twice. The second time I sent it seemed to work out. But anyways, we got it to work. That's good.
That's good.
Anyway, so I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and please plug whatever you got going on, all your social medias or whatever else you got going on.
All right. Well, my name's Erick. Currently, right now, trying to focus on being a content creator for TikTok. So just follow me on my TikTok, which is Erick.sleazy. Also, got a Instagram that I recreated. That's Prince all blunts, of course. Gotta say, with the 420 friendly,
Right, there you go. That's what's up.
But yeah, I'm also, just focusing on improving myself, as a person that's gone through a lot in life. I would say, I don't like to compare my story to anyone else out there, because everybody, comes from different backgrounds, different things. People have different traumas, different, different stories, per se, and it affects people differently.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm currently, on a spiritual, journey to rediscover, who I am, and, finding, the good inside of myself and the good inside of other people.
Right. How old did you say you were?
I'm currently 26, just turned 26 back in November.
Awesome. 26. Yeah, you're still young. I say young,
Yeah.
man, like I'm much older than you. I'm only 4 years older than you. I'm acting like an old man over here.
You know what they say, as soon as you hit that 25, it's just, you old.
I know. You know what? I always, right before I was, 21, like it just like everybody else, I couldn't wait to be 21. But once you hit 21, it's like, what else is there? I mean,
right?
You could say it's 40, but I mean, like 40, come on, it's already way out there.
Yeah, like the main thing like everybody looks forward to is, 21. Oh, that's the time to go out and party, have a good time, drink it up with friends, do all the legal stuff you can do now that, you were doing probably before then at the club.
No,
but now you can do it, legally, per
right?
se.
But I was more of a house party guy, and like towards my I call it my partying career. Towards the end of my partying career, I got into raves. And I actually went to the rave that was EDC, the last one that was done here in LA.
Okay.
I went to that one. It was crazy.
I have never gone to a rave before, honestly, but I've gone to a couple of concerts here and there here in Texas.
Okay.
Not too bad, honestly. I've never really gotten too much into the EDM style of music, but it does look like fun. I will say that. It does pique my interest.
Oh, it was good times. That's all I could say. For now, that's all I'm gonna say. It was good times. I had fun. I mean, just like most of us, that I guess most people that get into like drinking and partying heavily, they're trying to figure shit out. And
right.
And I feel like I was at the beginning of when I was doing all that, I was at the beginning where I didn't know what I even wanted out of life. I didn't even understand what the hell I was here for, and somewhere along the line, I had my first kid, and I was like, all right, well then I guess that's who I got to have now. I was fortunate enough to catch myself before it went further than what I had gone, because my partying was getting bad towards the end, and that's how I got my DUI. Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what induced you into wanting to do content creation?
Well, I still really haven't found my niche yet on what it is that I want to put out there, but I kind of, in a sense, kind of want to put my story out there, different things that I have found, to help me better myself as a person. I believe I have like 3 or 4 videos on my TikTok right now that kind of like that speaks on like validating yourself. One of them is like, validating yourself instead of, looking for validation in other people. And I feel like a lot of people out there, especially me, I struggled with this a lot. I struggled with wanting to find, my validation and my self-worth in other people.
Of course.
And honestly, it took my last breakup that just happened maybe a couple months ago to make me realize that I didn't really need anyone else's validation to, know my self-worth, because I was in a very dark place when I got into this relationship. I still didn't overcome a lot of demons that I had, a lot of past traumas that I didn't deal with, correctly. At least I thought, were completely gone out of my life. But as time progressed, I saw that, I really didn't heal, all these traumas that I thought that I did. Because a lot of things that really clicked into me was when she said, "You haven't changed since high school." And it's like, shit, oh shit,
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. Go for it. You're fine. No worries. Don't worry about it. I use all kinds of words. And sometimes I even think I'm offensive to people, but I try not to be. Sometimes I'm just talking out of my ass. But yeah. So as far as the things that you're saying that you're fighting demons and all that you're trying to get rid of them. Here, in my experience, what I experienced about the demons that every single one of us carries deep inside of our, I don't know where, wherever we carry it. It's
Right.
that I don't think you ever get rid of them. I think you
Yeah.
learn to manage them. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert at managing my demons, but I, okay, the thing that helps me out a lot is, and maybe I do it to myself. It's lately, this is just recently, I gotten back on the horse, and that's why I feel like I have the energy I have now to have this conversation. I don't know if you paid attention to the last couple of months of my stuff. I don't know if you've gone back, but
Yeah, I've gone back to a bit of your content.
right. But before that, I was posting up to like 3. That was the lowest I was posting weekly. But then I got busy, and then I found an excuse to say why I won't do this today, and I just ran with it for like almost 2 months already, and I'm trying to get back into it, but I didn't feel the drive, but I just kept pushing myself. And now today, when I was like, all right, I'm having this conversation with Eric today, and then we'll see where that conversation goes. I kind of, way in the back of my head, that thought came again. It's like, maybe you should find an excuse not to do it. Okay, I'm gonna be clear with you right now. That's not why I was struggling to get you the email. Right, first I messed up. I had turned on a different camera, and that's why my other camera wouldn't turn on. So that's why I couldn't send you the email. And then I sent the email. I sent it again, and I didn't say anything because I wanted to put myself on blast right here, right now. That's why I didn't say anything. I sent it to the wrong email. I forgot to add the 4 in your email, and I just left it like that. And when you sent back, it's like, I didn't get nothing. I was like, this guy. And then I went to look, and I was like, yeah, this guy, because I didn't get the email right. But yeah, my experience is, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think we'll ever be able to get rid of our demons. We're just gonna have to learn to, at least push them aside, or learn to deal with them, so we move on from where we're at. But you said that your life was in a dark place. How did you?
Yeah.
I think that when you notice that, I mean, I'm no expert at this at all whatsoever. Right. But I think
I'm not either. But like, to kind of piggyback on what you were saying about, like, defeating our demons. Like, yeah, we don't. I've learned that as well, that we don't fully learn to defeat them or like vanquish them out of our lives. We learn to work with them. Yeah. We kind of turn them into our servants. We turn our negativity to serve us. Our past, our traumas, we turn it into something that's useful for us, to benefit our higher self, our better self. To turn into the person that we want to turn into. And that's also another thing that I've discovered, that, and I kind of live by this, by these quotes, religiously, in a sense. So there's a quote in Mortal Kombat from the first Mortal Kombat movie that says, Liu Kang and Raiden said it, and it says, every man is responsible for his own destiny. So we kind of, create our own destiny. Like, nothing's set in stone, nothing's laid out for us. There's, like, for me, like, I'm a spiritual person. I'm not gonna say that I'm a religious person, but God brought us here for a reason, and it's for us to discover what that reason is. He's not laying the path out for us to walk into what he wants, but better yet, he wants us to discover what we want for ourselves.
Right.
Right. But I was in a very, would say, in a dark place where I was suffering with depression, suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts. I would constantly question myself, like, man, why am I here? Like, what even is my purpose? Like, what can I bring to the table? What do other people, benefit from me being here? Or like, who benefits, from me being here? That was always my state of mind, since I would say maybe like since I was in 8th grade, and it followed me all the way through high school until like, now, I'm slowly starting to see that those tendencies, came from all the stuff that I was going through that nobody really knew about, that I hardly ever, talked about to anybody, because I just didn't feel comfortable opening up to people about the things that were going on with me. Because when I was a child, I came from a very, um, very Mexican household, and I won't say that every Mexican household is like this, but I grew up with a father that was very like machismo,
No.
kind of fucking, deal with it yourself, don't fucking cry. You're not supposed to have emotions and stuff like that, because that's how he was built,
Right.
He came from a really like fucked up past as well. Like my dad's story is just something that's completely crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But that kind of like tied into the whole, why am I here? Like I can't even like deal with my own emotions. I can't even find, somebody to help me throw out these emotions. And I was a person that didn't really believe in going to therapy, seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I didn't, believe in that, because my mom kind of showed me, if you want to deal with something, you can push through it yourself if you learn to deal with it yourself. But there's also like different outlets for people to get help. Like I'm not saying, don't go out and look for help. If you feel like you need that help, go out and look for it. There are people that are out there willing to help, with whatever it is that you're going through. Just for me, it was more of I had to self-discover it for myself, and a lot of things that I've been seeing kind of on TikTok, like really opened myself up to it, like believing in the universe, and that nothing is set in stone, that we manifest our own realities. We manifest whatever we want to do in life. We're responsible for our own destiny. We cultivate our own life and our own free will.
Yeah, for sure. I want to back up a little bit what you said about how your dad grew up, right? That he was machismo. My parents weren't like that at all. Fortunately for me, I I I don't know why I don't like sharing my story at all, but it's kind of like I was left over there with my grandparents when I was 6 months old or so. It was, I don't know. There's been many stories given to me that it was 5 months, and another story that is a year. I couldn't tell you. I was there, but I wasn't.
Right.
But going back to what you said about your dad, the thing about the way they grew up, it was well, if you think about it, there was they were giving kids alcohol in that time. If you pay attention to their medicine, it was like you could put down a horse with that medicine that they were giving kids.
Yeah.
So for them to be the way they were to us, to the way they I shouldn't say us, the way they were to you, and this is just me giving you my thought, it was because the way he was raised. So he was raised in a more harsh environment, which made him the way he was with you. I'm not saying it was right, but the thing is, the good thing about generation through generation is that it seems like we're getting better at it. Like maybe I know that my dad's dad was kind of like that with him for a little bit. I mean, not for a little bit, but he was when he was younger.
Right.
And my dad wasn't like that with me. And with my kids, I'm far from that. I'm not like if they're hurt, I let them show emotions, because that's what it was engraved into us. Even though I wasn't like forced, like be a macho, like don't cry over that. There was a little bit of that. There was like a tad bit of it, and it resonated with us now, because we understand it. I don't think resonate is the right word. I just said resonate because that came to my head. Anyways, but as far as that your mom teaching you how to, like, that you have to push through it yourself. Sometimes yes, that builds character. Yes, but there is a point where you can't just deal with the problem yourself. Sometimes there is a point where you got to talk about it.
Right.
Either I've and this is because I've done this myself. Now that I do the podcast and I do this, like sometimes if I feel like I gotta say something, like I'll just sit here and do it. I'll never upload stuff like just my personal thoughts that I'm going through, like stuff like that. Because like I told you, I find it hard to share my story how it is. Because my story is kind of like it's fucked up. It's got some dark areas of it that I'm not ready. Maybe because I'm not ready to share. That's why I'm not. I feel like I don't want to share it, you know.
Right.
But and I want to back up to a little further back with what you brought. Is like that you said that you had no niche. Like you like you're trying to figure out your niche.
Right.
Before I started doing the podcast, that's exactly how I felt. Like exactly how you're feeling. Like I was like, oh, what do? I want to do something. Like I used to come home from work and wish I had something to do. But I didn't want anything to do other than just sit there and play on my phone or just play video games or something, you know. Until one day I was like, all right, the video games got to go. I'm not making any money of it. I'm not from it. I'm not making anything out of it. And all I'm doing is just wasting my time. Because I would just waste whole Saturdays just in front of the TV, you know, just waste my day. And I wouldn't, and when I was done playing, I would be left with that I wish I had something to do. Because I wanted to have a passion for something and I couldn't find it. But at the time I was listening to podcasts this whole time, you know, but I never thought it was something that I could possibly make it happen until later on when I was like, all right, well, I got to find something. And, you know, I've dove into different things. I try the whole Instagram influencer and all that. And and I am only saying I tried it because I did try it, but I just didn't put in enough time like I am doing with the podcast. Because it was really like, it was nothing that I really wanted to do. I don't even like taking pictures of anything, you know, because I rather enjoy the moment. But doing this now, it's making me think a little different. Where I'm trying to go into that route. That's why you'll see me post like more TikToks lately. You know, I'm gonna say lately, but it's just been the past 2 days, really. Yeah. But I'm trying to get back into the horse. But it's because I got busy. And again, it's the excuse I'm using for myself because I got busy with work and the new house that I purchased. So, but, you know.
I mean, yeah, life does happen. And sometimes, you know, life does kind of get not in the way, but it does, you know, kind of put us on pause from doing certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why what I said that I've tried many things and doing that also includes trying to find things that would allow me to spend more time on this and less at a regular job, which is, you know, that's why in the morning, like sometimes I don't even reply because I'm at work. I can't reply.
Yeah.
And so I'll just reply to like minutes or hours later. And, you know, I want to get away from that because I want to focus more on this because I want to put in the time that it really needs to be put in. So what I'm saying is that I tried the Forex, and you know when I'm still with the Forex and the stock market because I trade a little bit. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm only doing moves that other people are moving, and you know it's growing. It will, except this past week with everything that's happening. It's like it sunk everything to the bottom. I was like, it's time to buy. But I'm just sitting back right now, and I'm just gonna wait because I don't know how further down it's gonna go. So you know, but I'm searching for ways to how I can spend more time at home so that I can work on this. And it seems like that's the path that you're heading to, like that you're looking for something that'll get you away from I would say a regular life. Is that what we call it? A regular life where you work a regular job. That's what I mean when I say a regular life. Do you have a regular job right now, right?
Yeah, I currently, you know, work 2 jobs right now.
That's tough.
Just to like, you know, try to kind of make ends meet at the moment. But like I've had, you know, a couple of things that I've been like looking into doing. Like I wanted to launch a YouTube as well and kind of another Instagram. not to be an influencer, but kind of like talk about something that I really do have a passion about. And it's cannabis. Honestly, it's cannabis, and how, you know, different states have actually legalized it and how it's helped, you know, other states. And I currently live in an illegal state, which is
Right.
Texas, unfortunately.
Rough.
And it's just like I work at a smoke shop as one of my jobs, and some of the conversations that I have, you know, with the customers will walk in, they're like, "Oh man, why we have something here in Texas called Delta 8, which is kind of like
That's
a
what I was
diet
gonna
version
ask
of
you.
it." And so it's like a diet version of, you know, weed per se, but you know, it's extracted from hemp instead of, you know, cannabis, marijuana. And like the conversations they have with me, they're like, "Oh man, why can't we just legalize the real stuff instead of just, you know, having this weak stuff?" And it's just like, you know, it's just Texas is just a very hard-headed state, and it's like I'm not a very political person. I don't get into politics. I don't like getting that deep into it because it just starts a whole different,
Right.
you know, war with people, a whole different like argument with people, and it's just like I don't like to
Well,
dive
here's the
deep
thing
into
though.
that stuff.
Here's the thing that I've learned about this. I, like you, I don't like touching those subjects with people I don't talk regularly. But with
Mhm.
people I talk regularly, I love just poking at it, you know. But the thing about what you're searching to do is and even me, that I'm what I'm searching to do this too as well, is that we have to learn how to have conversations even about the subjects we don't like. And
Right,
even having a conversation with somebody you don't like, it's something that you're gonna have to learn. um
right.
I'm not saying that I don't like you. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But it's something that'll give you more of an understanding why people think that way. If you
Exactly.
learn to have that conversation, you know.
Exactly.
But
And like the best conversations are actually, you know, made from strangers because you get to learn something new about somebody that you've never met before. Just
yeah,
like political views, you know, religious beliefs, just, you know, morals in general. It's just like different people come from different backgrounds, and, you know, we're all raised differently. We all have different belief systems. We all have different morals. And it's just like, I like to not nitpick or just like pick at people on certain things, but it's just like when they're open to talking about certain things, I kind of like take that into my repertoire. And it's just like, damn, you know, there's different people out there that kind of have the same beliefs but also different morals as well.
of
You know,
course.
there's a lot of people that believe in cannabis but also are very religious as well. There's also people that are extremely like political or like right sided, left sided, and it's just like, you know, sometimes they also share some of the same beliefs. Like I'm gonna say again, like I'm not a religious person. I'm not Democrat, Republic. I just believe in what I believe in. You know, I
Right, of
just believe
course.
with what is
Yeah,
the human right.
of
You know,
course. Definitely, yeah. Okay, but how's that Delta 8 though? I'm see, they sell it here in California too. But
oh, they have it in
yeah,
California.
but I'm
Oh,
reluctant to
okay.
try it. I'm reluctant to try it because I'm like, all right, if the smoke shops are selling it, where are they getting it from? Are they getting it from where? But even the legal weed shops, like, where are you getting your stuff from?
Right. Because from what I know is a lot of, you know, dispensaries, especially in California, they do have their own farms in California that they, you know, they grow, they cure, they extract
Yeah,
all their stuff from there. Now I'm not gonna name any companies because I just haven't done any full research into them, but there's a couple of companies and dispensaries out there that actually, you know, grow their own stuff, have their own labs, and actually, you know, do the proper research that's supposed to be done into when it comes to cannabis. Now, for an illegal state in Texas, you know, it's kind of hard to actually pinpoint where all these companies are coming from because anybody can get on Google, anybody can, you know, look up a certain company and it might be two different places that they're coming from. And it's just like, it's not very, you know, accurate, you know, per
right,
se.
right, for sure.
But I will say, Delta 8, if you're wanting to try it, It works. It works because I'm a regular Delta 9 smoker, which is illegal in Texas, but was legalized in Colorado
Allegedly.
first. Yeah.
So, well,
Was the
allegedly, this is from my experience. Allegedly, I'm saying this for legal reasons. Allegedly,
right.
um, for federal legal reasons. Allegedly,
Right.
um,
Because we
there's
never
a
know who's watching.
right. There's a brand that allegedly I consume. Allegedly, it's called a raw garden. So basically, what they
Okay.
do is like they grab the flour and they compress
Mhm.
it, or I don't know what the hell they do, but
Mhm.
they say, I'm saying air quotes, and I can feel it in the taste. It doesn't taste like it's got any chemicals, but what the fuck do I know?
Right.
Um, but my experience, that one, raw garden, that one's like that's like top of the line, at least in my area. Because I know that if I go to LA, they're gonna show me something else that they're gonna be like, oh, this is top of the line out here. But
Yeah.
out in my area, in the Inland Empire, that's what I know that's top of the line, and that's what I get because that one has CBD and THC in it.
Hmm.
That's what allegedly the paper reads on it. But again,
Right.
it goes back to the same thing I was saying earlier. I think I lost you. Oh no, you're back.
There we go.
It's like, how do I know exactly what's in there? And now
Hmm.
here's the other news things that I'm seeing on the news that on the flour, I guess they're putting fentanyl in it to make it more potent. And like like what the hell are we doing now? Like isn't
Hmm.
like that 36% THC weed is not enough now? Like
Right.
allegedly, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you smoke a lot of the flour that I sometimes get, it's like you forget to breathe, dude. You're like, oh shit, was I breathing? It's like that
Right.
was way too much. But I'm not saying I don't like it because that's
Right.
you always want the top quality, right?
Exactly. And
But
like to kind of talk on that, like you were saying, you can go to LA and they'll tell you, oh no, you had raw garden per se, or they'll offer something else. That's just people trying to upsell you on the most expensive stuff that they have in shop. Like I'm not gonna lie, smoke shops do it. Everybody that works in retail for customer service like that, they're gonna
you,
try to upsell you on something.
you know what? And that's so true what you're saying. I'm glad you brought it up because you work at a smoke shop. So you said you work at a smoke shop, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm glad you said it because I get the cartridge, right? And there's a type of battery that I get. You
Hmm.
know the Yukon?
Yeah, Yokan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
definitely.
Yukon. Okay. Well, the one that has the screen, right?
Hmm.
I went to a different place and I remember I got it for $25.
Hmm.
And that battery for some reason it broke and it stopped charging. So I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh god, I got to buy a new one." So I went to a different place where I was close by and I asked for the same battery, and now this battery was 2 times the price of that I got the first one. And so later on, I went to another one just to check it out, just to check out the
Right.
prices, right? So I went to that one, I checked out the price, and that one was like $10 less than the one that I got. And I was like, oh, so these motherfuckers just get to name the price that they want, and you're
Hmm.
confirming it with me. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So it's just honestly just upselling, but like the way that I like to do things when I work my shop is, yeah, upselling is gonna bring in the money,
Of
but for
course.
me, I kind of put myself in their position because I'm also a consumer. I
Right.
also go out and buy stuff. I'm not gonna spend, my last penny at a shop, buying something that I can find for cheaper, in that shop or in another shop. I basically go off of what it is that they're looking for, what it is that they're trying to benefit off of it. And that
Right.
goes like for Delta 8 and anything else that we carry in our shop. And to my bosses, oh, that's a bad thing. You got to upsell, you got to make money. Yeah. But you also got to realize that not everyone that walks in here is going to want to spend, top dollar on all the products that you have. Like
Yeah, I agree.
they still got to have money left over for whatever else they want to do. Like they're stopping in to buy just
Yeah.
something simple just to get through the day.
Maybe I'm an asshole, but it but see, I have a conflict of interest with capitalism.
Hmm.
On one hand, I'm like, okay, it's great. It's business. It makes you money, and you can do it yourself. Whatever they're doing to make that type of money, if you bust your ass the way they busted your ass, and that's harsh to say to people too, because not all of us have the same opportunities, and not all of us have the same starting point. You know, and that's really harsh to say. But the reality is that that's what created all the technology and everything that makes life easier for us. It's what's made it for today. So that side, I'm like, great. Maybe if I bust my ass hard enough, I can make that type of money. But on the other hand, I'm like, but it's so unfair to people that start a mile from the start point. You know, that's so unfair to those people that live like in impoverished neighborhoods that have no way out of there. You know, it's harsh. And I'm not saying that I live in the greatest neighborhood, because, bro, to be honest, I live in Hemet, and Hemet's not the greatest neighborhood there are in California. You know, so, but you know, but at least I have the opportunity to own a house. So my starting point, it's not somebody that I'm talking about what I know. It's not somebody that lives in Compton or Casablanca, where it's like really impoverished neighborhoods, you know.
Right.
And I think I lost my train of thought where I was going with that thought.
Capitalism.
Oh, yes. So, you know, that's why I'm for capitalism, but I hate that it's not in the favor of the ones that are starting at the way far behind.
Right. Not in favor for the people that started from the bottom, basically.
Yeah. But again, it goes back to what I was just mentioning. It's like, but if you bust your ass for what you want or what you think you can get, then, I mean, it's whatever happens, it'll happen. If it didn't happen, well, at least you tried, and you can't live your life saying, well, maybe if I would have done that, maybe that would have worked. Yeah. So, you know, and this is what I wanted to ask you earlier. When you said that you're interested in marijuana, do you know how that became illegal? I love talking about that.
So from my research, now I don't have all the accurate facts, but so from my research that I've done, and it's a very controversial thing. So back then, when alcohol was, you know, prohibition, this is when we go way, way back, like in the 1930s, 1940s, when alcohol was first, you know, banned.
Wasn't that in the 20s?
I think so. So might see that I'm a little off, but it happened during that time, during the prohibition era. So when alcohol was first, you know, prohibition, they saw that, you know, the mobs, you know, and the mafias were starting to still, you know, get it out there to people, because it was, you know, it was the roaring 20s for a reason, you know, and that's because, you know, you had the mafias, the mobs, all, you know, making their, you know, the bathtub cocktails and everything, you know, their moonshine, making all the alcohol. As soon as, you know, the America saw that, you know, they were losing the war on that, they decided to target something else, which happened to be marijuana in that case. And the thing that made them target marijuana, not only just because they saw that they were losing against alcohol, was also that hemp itself can be replacing a lot of plastic that we use today. A lot of plastic that we use today, you know, is non-biodegradable. It can take, you know, 20 plus years, and even for a water bottle just to, like, you know, decompose outside in nature. And when we replace, you know, that plastic with hemp can be biodegradable like within a couple of years.
I think the regular plastic, it's more than that, more than 20 years. It's a lot longer than that. But yeah, you're along the lines of it, of what I know. I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But this is what I know about it. I think the 20s, it was Randall Hertz. You ever heard of the Hertz Castle?
Yeah, Randall Hertz.
He was the owner of the newspaper back in the days. So they had just invented, I think it's called a decorticator. And that's a machine that separates the fibers of the hemp.
Mhm.
So with that machine, it would allow them to make clothes, paper, everything a lot easier.
Mhm.
Now, I wasn't aware of the part that you said about the alcohol, and you know what? That's crazy to say because they both got prohibited almost at the same time. That's
Yeah, as
crazy.
soon as he saw that he was losing the war with alcohol, he decided to target something else that he saw was beneficial, for America. And also with hemp, we can save a lot of trees as well. Like over the years, like from what I can remember, wood used to be a lot more sturdier. Wood used to be a lot more, how to say, you could see the rings on like a single sheet of wood or like on a whole plank of wood. You can see like all the rings just really, really, really close together. You can see the age of the tree that it was cut from. And nowadays, when you go into a Home Depot and you see wood, you just see like the rings just completely like getting further and further apart. And it's just like not really good quality
Check
wood.
this
And
out.
hemp can actually replace that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I work construction.
Oh,
And and I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, the house that I purchased was built in the '60s, right? So
oh shit.
I got up into the attic and I was looking around at the all the lumber that they've used in the roof because that's what I work on. That's my job. I fix they're called trusses. The triangle things that are on top of your house that are called trusses.
Right.
So I repair those. So I know I have an idea more or less how they should be and all this. So I got up there and I'm looking around and I'm like, what the hell? Look at this lumber. This lumber still looks kind of new. So and I stop and I start thinking about the lumber that I'm seeing regularly at the job sites now, and the comparison, it's like it's so much crazy. The lumber that this house has, you look around and it's only got a few knots on it, like maybe like
Mhm.
one every now and then every so piece. But the lumber that we're using today, goddamn, it's full of knots.
Mhm.
And
It
go on.
No, go on. Sorry.
Oh no, and I kind of asked my boss like why does he think that is, and he's saying because they're growing the trees too fast.
Hmm.
I'm like, how the hell do they grow trees too fast? Like a tree grows by itself, but I have no knowledge. I don't know how to grow a tree. You know, it's not
Right.
my
It
job.
kind
So
of right. It kind of honestly it ties back to just how we grow our fruits and vegetables, pesticides, growth hormones, everything. Like the
hmm
demand for wood is just so high up, and especially like where I live. I live in Houston. I
yeah,
live in the city of Houston,
they're
and
booming right now.
from yeah,
Mm.
like just the amount of houses and condos that they're building within the area that I live in is just completely ridiculous. They go through so much wood, and it's just honestly mind blowing. It's mind blowing on how much wood they go through, and I kind of question myself, and I'm like, okay, so how many trees did it really take for them to build this condo? Like, just honestly, how many trees did you have to cut down just to build this condo? And it's just like we know that hemp can replace, the trees, and there's a shorter, time period to grow hemp than
hmm
compared to growing a full grown ass tree.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hemp is supposed to be as light as a bamboo stick, but it's
Hmm.
sturdy like an oak tree or something like that, red oak or
Hmm.
something like that. Um, I like I said that I don't like what capitalism does, but I like the opportunities that it provides. So it's a love hate relationship.
Right.
Yeah. So going back to the Delta 8, so you would say that it's similar, or if you were to have a cartridge of regular THC and Delta 8,
Right.
what would be the difference? How mild or how would you describe it?
So the way that I kind of put it to like clients that come in that are like from a legal state that, regularly smoke Delta 9 marijuana cannabis, which we call it in the shop, Delta 9. The way that I compare it is kind of to soda. So I compare it to Coca-Cola. So it's like Delta 9 is like your Coca-Cola, Delta 8's like your Diet Coke, and then your CBD is
Okay,
kind of
wait a
like the
minute.
Coke
Wait a
Zero.
minute. I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you right there. Now, Diet Coke is worse than regular Coca-Cola. So is that what we're saying here?
No, so it's just like in the amount of like sugar per se, you know?
Well, there's no sugar in Diet Coke. It's just a supplement of sugar. And even in regular Coke, there's only syrup. But I get what you're saying. I'm just giving you a hard
Yeah.
time.
No, you're good, you're good. But it's just like kind of also in the form of like just to kind of give them an idea that, you know, Delta 9 is gonna be, you know, your strongest thing that you have there. Then Delta 8 is gonna be a little bit more mild. See, the thing with when they smoke Delta 9, they sometimes, and I'm not saying everybody, because everybody, you know, is different. Because I've run into a couple of people that are like, oh no, that doesn't happen to me. And it's just like, okay, you know, it's not for everyone. It doesn't apply to everyone. But some people, when they smoke Delta 9 cannabis marijuana, they experience, you know, sometimes paranoia. Like any little sound can just set them off. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know, they start to get, you know, that paranoia feeling like, oh shit, cops are here. Like that's the first thing that comes into their mind, especially in an illegal state. That's the first thing that comes to their mind. Oh, who's there? Who's there? Who's there? You know? And then like kind of Delta 8 kind of cuts some of that off since it's a little bit more milder.
Oh, okay.
Like I've smoked both, and I can honestly say that Delta 8 kind of cuts off the whole paranoia sensation. Now, that's just for me. I'm not saying that it's for everyone, because some people have said they've experienced some paranoia on Delta 8, but it also goes down to how much you're consuming at the time. You know, a lot of people just like to keep hitting, you know, their Delta 8 pen and just, you know, try to get to Mars that way. And hey, you know, there ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, you try to get your fix for the day. That's fine, you know. But I believe, you know, that consumption is, you know, a very important key factor, because I've learned something that's called microdosing. Microdosing is just basically, you know, self-medicating yourself to a point where you feel fine. Not where you're like completely slouched in the couch and just completely passing out at like 2 p.m. and waking back up at like 12 a.m. and just like, shit, where'd the rest of the day go, you know?
Still high.
Like, yeah, there's those people that, you know, do that. And, you know, that's fine. You know, that's just, you know, what they prefer, how they prefer to smoke. And, you know, that, hey, that's cool. But I look into more like the medical standpoint of cannabis over, you know, just the wanting to get high feeling, you know, because there's a lot of research done on cannabis marijuana where it's helped people with epilepsy, you know, people that suffer from seizures, people that suffer also from cancer, and even late stages of cancer, that, you know, some doctors are, you know, prescribing medical marijuana to certain patients to see how the marijuana, you know, interacts with the cancer cells, you know. And a lot of people have actually gotten off of chemotherapy. I'm a person that strongly says fuck big pharma. Just fuck big pharma. It's honestly the worst thing that was ever made in the United States.
Can I disagree with you on the worst thing that was ever made?
You can. Okay. You can, of course, you know.
Because it's offered many opportunities for people that have different disabilities, and again, I go back to what I was saying earlier. It's capitalism, you know, because all of these companies, the at least the ones that are based off of here, and for the majority, I think it works overall like that. I think it works the same. They all operate in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Infinite growth. Every year they have to make more than what they made last year. And that's why I'm saying that's the part that I hate about capitalism, because, but again, I go back to the opportunities. And I mean, that's my only argument.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Of course, you know, but again, it's just so dirty what they've done. Look at what's happening now. I mean, I'm not going to name it because they've taken down a couple of my videos like that. But I'm just going to say the O word, because that's the O right now, right? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
The O word. You know, that's how I started this podcast. I named it the O word. Damn, that would have been perfect for this time. I should have kept that name. But they're saying, at least from where they found it, they're saying that it's not bad. But over here, they're saying that it is bad. Get the thing in get the jab. And that's what they're pushing. I mean, I'm all for do what you want to do. If you want to get it, go for it. It's
Right.
none of my business. But that's what I hate about it. They have so much power. And if there was a way to take away a little bit of power and leave everything else as is, it'll probably be better. But again, reality is not going to
Right.
work that way because they run the
Yeah.
show. And unfortunately, we're here to suffer whatever consequences they put on us,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. But that's my only argument with that. And that I think they are bad because of how they treat every single person,
Mm-hmm.
every single patient. They treat them as a customer. That's what we are to
Yeah.
them, customers.
That's honestly how they see him. That's why I say like I hate's a very strong word for me, but that's why I kind of don't like big pharma
Mm-hmm.
because at first, yeah, their whole niche was to actually help people and find treatments and cures for like different things that were starting to happen to us. Not a lot of people knew about polio back then in the day, and then now we have a vaccine for it.
But you know what? Here's the other thing that I've noticed. Do you remember maybe as of late 90s, early 90s, late 90s, there used to be chickenpox parties?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what happened with that? And another thing, like, you could have a remedy for whatever other illness that that you have, and nobody bats an eye if you share it with anybody else. But if you
Mm-hmm.
share a certain remedies now or a different treatment that's less harmful than a new treatment, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the only time in history so far that we know of that the people have turned it into what it is now. And I'm with you on hating it for that part. But
Mm-hmm.
again, there's so many people that have gotten better because of the pharmaceuticals that we have,
Mm-hmm.
just aspirin itself, that's a great medicine that they came up with. But
Right.
and unfortunately, they made it a business. Again, it goes back to like what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
That
Capitalism
yeah,
always.
yeah. And I like saying this too, dude, because every time I'm talking to somebody and I agree or disagree with a point or I have a comment to make with that and I say it out loud as a content creator, I think it makes me better. Cause sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
say shit and I'm like I'm in the middle of the sentence and I'm like, damn, that sounded so stupid. I probably shouldn't have said that. But yeah. So what are your plans though with I mean, like I know you're looking for a niche and you're
Mm-hmm.
26 years old. You still got, you're young. You can power through anything right now. You can do it.
Yeah.
Like what do you
I
got
mean,
what do you got for the future? YouTube, podcast, or what's going on Twitch?
so I am planning on doing a little bit more in-depth research because I've only been studying about cannabis for about a year or year and a half. I haven't, completely gone through every aspect of it. Not like other people have. Like I've seen like I have a couple people that I follow on TikTok that like completely get down into like the molecular level of cannabis itself and like the different components of it and the structure of the molecular the molecular structure of cannabis. And it's just like I kind of want to get in depth to the point where I feel like I can launch a YouTube where I can talk about different products that I've tried from my shop and just like kind of give my input on how they made me feel, how they've affected me, how I consume, and how I regulate my consumption as well. um but I'm also looking into getting into a podcast, into like talking about cannabis and how it's helped certain people, how it's compared to Delta 9, from the people that are from a legal state, of course, just kind of getting to get in depth to people's thoughts on what they think of it. And,
Right.
if it should honestly be legalized or if it should not be legalized, especially in an illegal state, which a lot of people, say, oh, yeah, legalize it. But we want to know if we want to legalize it for the right reason or for the wrong reason, you know?
I think
Like,
I think legalizing will be for the right reason, for letting people
mhm,
choose whatever the hell they want to do with their bodies. I mean,
exactly.
that's just what it comes down to. Are you harming anybody with it? Is anybody being harmed? No, I mean, it's
Mhm,
been it's been proven, right? Alcohol is worse than cannabis, and
alcohol, yeah, exactly. Alcohol is worse than cannabis. Cigarettes, even cigarettes are worse.
and how acceptable is that? You know, you see somebody just spark up a cigarette wherever they want, and nobody tells them anything. It's like,
And you know what's funny, that before the the purchasing age of cigarettes used to be 18. Now it's jumped up to 21.
Yeah, that will.
So it's just like,
I
hello.
was right. I'm guilty as charged. I was smoking cigarettes at 18. Yeah, 18. That's when I started all my partying because my parents were kind of strict. They didn't let me go out for shit. But once I was like, you're 18, you can do whatever you want. That's when everything started and it went bad quick.
Yeah. I didn't start probably smoking cigarettes until I was 20. Oh. And I will say my first cigarette was a very bad experience. But then after that, I don't know, like just buying a pack of cigarettes was just kind of my normal thing for like the next 3 years after that.
Oh man. Yeah, I did 2 years. 2 years. But you know what? And I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree with me. Isn't it so great? Right in the morning, you get up, go to work, spark up a cigarette, cup of coffee. Oh my God.
that honestly was my dad. That was my dad, like in the mornings, a cup of coffee and a cigarette. But like for me, I was never a cigarette person in the morning. It was just like I'm on my break from work, I'm having a cigarette, or like I just got off of work, I'm having a cigarette, or if I buy, a beer from the corner store, spark up a cigarette outside,
Right.
just kind of have a little wind down time. I was never like an extreme heavy smoker. Like I would say a pack of cigarettes lasted me like 2.5 weeks. Cause it's like 20 cigarettes in a box.
Oh, you were just trying it out then. No,
but like after I would say maybe the first year and a half, then it started to escalate. Then it started to being like a pack a week.
Okay, I got
and
I was like,
okay, yeah. And then on my third year of being on cigarettes, it was like 2 packs a week, and it's like, okay.
Why'd you stop smoking cigarettes?
I stopped smoking because my dad was a heavy smoker, so he passed away from lung cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So,
I shouldn't make the joke that I was gonna make, but never mind. I'll just.
No, you're good. Trust me.
I was gonna say, you know what I used to say, like when I was like heavily like smoking cigarettes, I was like, people would ask me, why don't you quit? And I was like, oh, because I'm not a quitter. That was the joke, but yeah. But you know what?
That was my dad. Honestly, like no cap, that was my dad. It was like, okay, whatever, do what you want. That's your body, whatever.
Right.
But after like he passed away, like I was still smoking, but then like I kind of looked more into my health, and I was like, what am I really putting into my body? What's really in the cigarette? And then I dove down into like the full research, and there's rat poison in cigarettes.
Yeah, I was gonna get.
And
to
it's
that.
like there's just so many, much more worse chemicals in a cigarette than there is like probably even alcohol. But I'm not a heavy drinker. I drink every now and then just to wind down, of course. But just once you start to realize what's in a cigarette, it's just like I'm putting that in my body.
Yeah.
That's going in my lungs. It's just like, ugh.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? You don't realize it, but you stink. Like you don't realize it because you can't smell yourself. But you know what? I'm glad, at least for the most part, most people couldn't smell. But I guess I realized that I stunk like cigarettes. That's why I stopped smoking. But it wasn't because of my clothes. It's because I started riding motorcycles. And I was like, I don't want to put my helmet on and smell my cigarette breath the whole ride. So, and that's what put me towards quitting smoking and getting into working out. Because that's how that's how I like to think that I pushed a lot of my demons down, like just to calm them down. That going into the gym, like I got heavy. I was heavy. I got up to 255. And one day I used to work warehouse before working construction. So I was sitting down on a forklift and I could feel my man boobs on my stomach, and I'm like, this is not normal. This is not
Yeah.
right. So that's what lead me. That's what put me towards working out. Because before, oh man, there was cake. If there was cake in the refrigerator and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was hungry, I'm gonna get a piece of cake and go back to sleep
Oh
later.
yeah.
That was me. And not
Hey,
to say,
I'm not gonna lie. Nothing goes down at night than a slice of cake and a cold glass of milk. Honestly.
oh man, don't even talk about it. Because I'm still guilty of that. But I have more restraint for myself now than I did before. But it's just the progress that we all got to learn. We just got to get better, and find things that we like to do. And at the time, I like exercising, and that's what I focused on. But then I realized that exercising wasn't enough, so that's when I started doing podcasts. Yeah, man. So this was very fun, man. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to have this conversation with you.
Absolutely.
Any other time, like, just send me, you want to come back and shoot the shit, talk shit, talk cannabis, whatever you want, talk conspiracies, whatever you want. Shoot me a message.
Definitely.
We can definitely schedule something. So again,
Oh,
please,
for sure.
please plug all your social medias and everything. And please send me an email with all your links so I can add them to the description of this episode. So go ahead and please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, for having me on here. Like I said, I'm going back and forth with different things that I want to do. I'm, trying to focus on cannabis as well as, a self-healing journey that I've been on just for a couple of months. And it's something that I kind of just talked about briefly at the beginning, because it's something that I'm not completely, how do I say, I'm not completely healed, but I'm getting through the process. I'm getting through that process. I'm doing a lot better than I was now. I'm doing a lot better now than what I was, 2 months ago,
That's
3
awesome.
months ago.
That's awesome.
My mindset has honestly changed. My outlook on life has completely changed as well. Like, I'm not gonna say, there's not every now and then those thoughts creep up, but it's just like I know how to hold them down at bay now.
Good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that from you, man. I'm glad to hear that you're getting better, and all you have to do is put in the work. And
exactly.
Anytime you're feeling down, man, just shoot me a message. We'll schedule a conversation and we'll talk more shit over here. Get you smiling, all right? And
Absolutely,
I'm being serious. Like, if you ever want to do this again, let me know. Let me know, please.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
If you're interested in in wanting to know more of this, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I could point you where to look at least more or less, because I've learned a little bit of this so far, and I mean, all I can say is thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on as well. It was surprising you'd want to have me on a podcast when I'm just kind of like, I wouldn't say a nobody, but just we really don't know each other.
That's
but
who I am.
Those are kind of like the best. That's honestly how like the best conversations happen. Talking with a stranger, getting to know them is just like honestly the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, of course, definitely. And again, man, if you're feeling down, find a workout too, man. Do a workout, do some push-ups, get those demons, get a punching bag. You know what I found? A punching bag does help. Oh yeah. Watch your wrist though. Don't break your wrist.
Yeah, like I go out on runs like on my off days, to just get that fresh air in, get the lungs working again, get that blood flowing once again. Like, I work out every now and then that I have the opportunity to do it, but I do definitely like try to take my mind off of things. As soon as something starts to pop in my head, take it, brush it off, go out, distract my mind, do something else that's more beneficial for me, and just go about my day on a different, positive mental attitude than what I was, 5 minutes ago before I decided to go out for a run.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's much easier to say, yeah, just think positive, but if you work harder, that you could do it. And like I said, calming those demons down is what it's all about. And the way I personally do it is I do a workout. That helps for me. So I'm pretty sure it could help you out too. But if you have something that's working for you, hey, if it's working for you, go for it, man. Go for it. And don't stop your content creation, man. Do it every day. That's the key. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something that I like telling everybody. I read it, but I just can't remember the name from who and from where I read it from. But it goes along the lines that if you want to be a pro at anything, a professional at anything, you got to put in your hours. And the goal is 10,000 hours. After 10,000 hours, you're a pro or whatever it is that you dedicated to. So for me, that's what I'm looking to do is just put in my hours. Just put in my hours. And with time, you'll just get better. You'll realize that, hey, I'm doing this wrong. I should probably do it this way, you know. And for some people, it's easier to share the process. For me, it's not. For me, I just like if I see something wrong, I'll just fix it and not even address it. But if you're good at it, at explaining what you've done, do so. You know, just explain, open up a package or something. You know, do something. Like, it works. And I feel like I'm giving you too much advice. I'm just kidding.
No, you're good. There's no such thing as too much advice. All advice can be good advice.
Of course, definitely. Just put it to use. If it works, it worked. If you can't use it, then just put it aside and, you know, find something else.
Come back to it later. You know, maybe you don't need it at that moment, but maybe sometime later on, you'll remember that advice. Oh, so that's what he was trying to. Gotcha.
There you go. That's it. All right, then, Eric. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much.
We'll keep in touch, man, for reals. And like I said,
definitely, my man.
I know I'm nowhere where I want to be, but if I can help, let me know. I'll see what I can do for you. Like I said. Yeah,
definitely, my man. And thank you for having me on once again. And to everyone out there that, you know, wants to go ahead and follow me, my Instagram is Prince of All Blunts, just periods in front of the words, of course. And that's my Instagram. And on my TikTok, just follow me on TikTok at Erick.Sleazy for honestly the most randomest content going on right now.
There you
I'll
go.
be posting about my spiritual healing, my journey into being the better person that I'm trying to be. And of course, you know, just random stuff from now and then.
Of course, just keep at it though. Keep at it. That's the thing.
Definitely.
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folk. I really, really had a great time with my friend. He is a wonderful person that, you know, I feel like he's at the beginning of, I just fucked this up again. I feel like he's at the beginning of where, Jesus. I feel like he's at the beginning of where I used to be. And, you know, the only reason I like saying the things that I said to him is because I feel like me, he has no clue what I want. And, you know, I'm not saying I have a clue what I want, but more or less I do. Well, again, thank you very much for listening to this. This is our 2 cents with your host, Oscar. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It means the world to me. It costs nothing to you. Thank you very much. Deuces.